Hadith number 12 insha'Allah ta'ala. الحديث الثاني عشر عن أبي هريرة رضي الله عنه قال قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم من حسن إسلام المرء تركه ما لا يعنيه حديث حسن رواه الترمذي وغيره. This hadith was narrated again by Abu Hurairah رضي الله عنه. He said that the Prophet صلى الله عليه وسلم said, من حسن الإسلام المرء, from the goodness of a person's Islam, or part of the goodness of a person's Islam, is that تركه ما لا يعنيه, that they leave off those things that do not concern them. They leave off those things that do not concern them. Okay, so the principle in this hadith, or the qa'id in this hadith, is protecting and safeguarding your deen by avoiding things that do not concern you. Okay? Safeguarding and protecting your deen, and doing so by protecting or staying away from those things that does not concern you and is not your business. Okay? Now, this hadith, Al-Imam Ibn Abi Zayd Al-Qayrawani, rahimahullah ta'ala, this Imam, he was from the great Maliki Imams, the great Maliki scholars of the past. He was from Qayrawan, which was considered to be Maghrib al-Arab in the past. And this Imam, he actually, he was known as Malik al-Saghir. So he's considered to be from the major scholars of the Maliki madhab. He said that there are four hadiths in which the topic of akhlaq and manners revolve around these four hadiths. Four hadiths that culminate, or the topic of good manners revolve around these four hadiths. One of them is this hadith that we're in now. حسن الإسلام المرء تركه ما لا يعنيه. The three other hadith are hadiths that we're also going to be seeing today, which are part of the hadith in this collection of Imam An-Nawawi. The other hadith is the hadith of the Prophet ﷺ, where he said, عليه الصلاة والسلام, من كان يؤمن بالله واليوم الآخر وَلْيَقُلْ خَيْرًا أَوْ لِيَصْمُتْ. The hadith we're going to come to see it inshaAllah ta'ala. And the other hadith about the man who came to the Prophet ﷺ asking for advice, and the Prophet ﷺ told him, لَا تَغْضَبْ, not become angry. We'll see that hadith as well inshaAllah. And the other hadith is the hadith of the Prophet ﷺ, where the Prophet ﷺ said that a person's iman is not complete until they have love for their brother what they love for themselves, which is the next hadith after this hadith inshaAllah ta'ala. Okay? So he said that these hadith, they revolve around all of the ahadith. He said the hadith of akhlaq are many, but they go back to these four things. And also our teacher and our Sh.Abdirahman Hussein hafidhahullah ta'ala, he mentioned, based on that statement of Imam Ibn Abi Zayd, he said that based on that, akhlaq, or having good manners, is built on four pillars. So he said it's built on four pillars, and those four pillars, each of those pillars and evidence of it is these four ahadith. So the first pillar of having good manners is that the person has to be somebody who controls what they say. Right? Somebody who has no control of their tongue and they just say whatever comes to their mind, that person is not considered to be somebody that has good akhlaq. So a person who's controlling of what they say, they think before they speak, that is an indication that that person has good manners. And the dalil for that is the hadith where the Prophet ﷺ said, من كان يؤمن بالله واليوم الآخر فليقل خيرا أو ليصمت. And we'll speak about that inshallah when we get there. Right? The second pillar, he said, is that a person who has good manners has to be somebody that does not delve into things that does not concern them. They're not nosy and constantly trying to get themselves involved in matters that has no concern with them. And the dalil is this hadith that we're in. من حسن الإسلام المرء تركه ما لا يعنيه. So he said that a person who's normally very curious in the sense where they always want to know about other people's matters and it does not concern them necessarily, generally speaking, that person is not considered to be somebody that has good manners. Okay? And that person, that type of akhlaq is not one that is praiseworthy. Right? They always want to know what happened to somebody, what somebody's up to. They're calling people, did you hear what he did? Did you hear what she said? Do you know about what happened there? And they're always trying to figure out, and they're just extremely nosy and trying to get themselves involved in matters that have no business, that they have no concern getting involved with. Okay? The third is controlling your emotions. That if a person is somebody that has no control of their emotions, right? And they're fly off the handle when it comes to their emotions, then generally speaking, that person will always engage in character and manners that is not praiseworthy, right? And especially this is the case with regards to anger. Especially when it comes to anger, if a person does not have the means of controlling their anger, it will always lead to the person acting in a way that is not befitting of a person who has good akhlaq and good manners. And we'll speak about that when we go to that hadith. And the last one is having a pure heart, in the sense where you don't carry any enmity and jealousy and hatred towards your fellow Muslims, right? That the person has they are open-hearted when it comes to their interaction with their fellow Muslims. When a person has hatred and jealousy and enmity and it's all built in within them, you'll see most of the times they'll be dealing with people with akhlaq that is not praiseworthy as well, right? And the dalil for that one is the hadith of Prophet ﷺ said that a person does not have true iman until they love for their fellow Muslim what they love for themselves. We'll see each of those inshallah ta'ala in each of those hadith that we get to. This hadith is speaking about the aspect of the Muslim is a person, a person whose Islam is proper, is one who, if it doesn't concern them, they don't get involved. If it does not concern them, they don't get involved. Okay, some people might misunderstand and misinterpret the application of this hadith and would say that when you are advising somebody to do good, or you are telling somebody not to do that which is evil, they will say, well, it's none of your business. You tell somebody, ittaqillah, fear Allah, don't do this which is haram, stay away from that thing. They'll say, what are you talking about? Mind your own business. Min husn al-Islam al-mar'i, tarkuhu ma la ya'nihi. Right? And that is a wrong understanding of the hadith. Because it is from your business as a Muslim to correct your fellow Muslim. It is from our concern that we advise each other and we correct each other. Yes, there is a way of doing so that requires hikmah and speaking with wisdom, right? And understanding the person that you're advising and what is the best way to approach the advice. But nobody can come and tell you you have no business advising your fellow Muslim to do that which is khair or leave that which is evil. Because the reason why this ummah was made special and Allah called it as an ummah that is special is why? Because they enjoin good and they forbid evil. كنتم خير أمة أخرجت للناس تأمرون بالمعروف وتنهون عن المنكر وتؤمنون بالله. Allah said that this ummah of Muhammad ﷺ is the best ummah amongst the nations. Why? Number one, they enjoin that which is good. They advise and they enjoin and they tell people to do that which is righteous. And they also advise people to stay away from that which is evil. And they have iman in Allah. And Allah mentioned in that ayah, al-amru bil-ma'ruf wa-nahy al-munkar, even before iman, which is the foundation of our belief. طيب? So that is a wrong application and a wrong understanding of this tremendous hadith of the Prophet ﷺ. But what it's referring to is those things that are that have nothing to do with obviously the person's engaging in that which is haram or involved in it does not have anything to do with al-nahy anil munkar or al-amru bil ma'ruf, enjoining good and forbidding evil, but it's someone's personal matters, personal affairs, and it does not concern you, then it's not from good manners that we delve in and get involved and try to figure out what the affairs and what the issues are. So we stay away from that to the best of our abilities. طيب.